How you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling great. I'm super excited. It's a great menu today. The biggest beef ribs you'll ever see. Jamaican jerk, pork ribs, and lamb ribs. It's going to be an awesome show.
All right. Yeah, he wants the counterweight for the shot.
2 steps, action.
For many people, ribs are the apex of barbecue. Monster beef ribs like they make in New York, fiery spare ribs like they smoke in Jamaica, and a bone you may not be familiar with, the Colorado lamb rib. So if ribs are your addiction, listen up. Project Smoke has your fix. The beef plate rib. These are the biggest, baddest ribs, and they're guaranteed to just bowl people over when you pull them from your smoker at your next barbecue. There are many options for beef ribs. You could use beef short ribs, which are readily available at most supermarkets, or beef long ribs, which are cut from high on the steer. But my favorite is the biggest, baddest beef rib of all, the beef plate rib, cut from the lower forequarter of the steer. Beef plate ribs are sold 3 bones to a rack, and each rack weighs 6 to 7 pounds. Now you could cook the racks whole, but I like to cut them into individual bones, so each bone gets the maximum smoke and spice flavor. Cut the beef ribs into bones. Simply follow the meat in between each bone. Each individual rib weighs about 2 pounds. You could think of it as a meal in itself. Here on Project Smoke, we try to use grass-fed beef from small family farms. Remember, how your meat is raised matters as much as how you smoke it. When beef is this great tasting, you want to keep the seasoning simple. Coarse sea salt, cracked black peppercorns, and hot pepper flakes for spice. It's important to season the beef on all sides. I like coarse crystals of sea salt. They give you a salty crunch when you take a bite. Season the ribs like you mean it. Now let me show you the smoker, a Raichlen Marshal RD Special. To cook these big bad beef ribs, an equally big bad smoker. This is an offset barrel smoker. It has a firebox next to and slightly lower than the cook chamber. Now I built a bed of blazing charcoal embers, and to that we'll add some air-dried peach wood from the Carolinas. One of the nicknames for this type of smoker is a stick burner. You can see why. This is the actual cook chamber or smoking chamber. It has a counterweight to help you open this heavy steel lid and dual thermometers. Remember, you're going to have a higher temperature closer to the fire than you will further away. So this is the actual smoke and cook chamber. And another feature, this is a heat diffuser or a convection plate, and it even moves back and forth, giving you further control of the heat. Another nice feature of the Raichlen smoker, it's built like a tank. Check out the thickness of the steel, a full 1/4 inch. Holds in the heat and it's super sturdy. Now let me get the meat. So when you put the ribs in the smoke chamber, place the larger ribs at the end closer to the firebox. They need a little longer to cook. Total cooking time is going to be about 8 hours. You want to keep the temperature around 225 degrees to control the heat. You either open or close the damper in the firebox and the damper on the chimney. Now you'll check the ribs. If the bones closest to the firebox are cooking too fast, switch them out for the bones at the far end. Remember, smoking is easy, but it does require your attention. It's been 8 hours, a very long 8 hours, and check out these ribs. These look amazing. Now the 3 tests for doneness. First of all, you can see the meat has shrunk back from the ends of the bones by about 1 inch to 2 inches. And second of all, you can pierce the meat very easily with a metal probe. The last test, if you want to use an instant read meat thermometer, you want to be between 190 and 195 degrees. Bingo. So now, take the ribs off the smoker. Now, I know you want to eat these ribs right away. I want to eat these ribs right away, but they'll be even better if you pour 1 cup of beef stock over the ribs. Then cover the pan with aluminum foil and let the ribs rest in a warm spot for 1 hour. What this does, it helps the meat relax. The ribs will absorb some of the stock and they'll be even more succulent. So start your timer now. Some of that stock is absorbed. The resting relaxes the meat so it becomes more tender. It keeps its succulence. You have a nice crust on it. It's just a great over-the-top way to prepare ribs. Here are the ribs after that 1 hour soak in the beef broth. Look how moist these are. Just incredible. And normally I'd eat these with my bare hands, but I want to show you what the meat inside looks like. So what we'll do is just cut the beef crosswise. Now, take a look. First of all, gorgeous smoke ring. This is a naturally occurring chemical reaction. Happens when smoke comes in contact with meat. I call it the red badge of honor in barbecue. And these ribs are so tender, the knife glides through the meat like butter. With these beef ribs, I'm serving a bacon smoked cheddar cornbread. Recipes on the website. Well, let's see how we did. Oh man, this is pure beef bliss. So tender, so smoky. Grass-fed beef has such a nice flavor, and when ribs are this smoky and flavorful, you don't even need barbecue sauce. Come on in, guys, let's clear the set. Thanks, nice job, Abby. Man, we really nailed it. Chris, awesome.